Hey! So, I'm going to be trying something new, and who knows, this could be the only episode I ever do of this. But we're going to do it because I want to talk about stuff. So, spoiler alert, I'm a wrestling fan. I'm fully aware that wrestling is stupid, but I love it. So, I don't care. So there's been a lot of stuff that happened over the weekend, so I just kind of want to talk about it a little bit. I don't really watch anything outside of AEW and WWE, and that includes NXT. I like NXT. Until they fuck it over in the next couple of weeks, which they're probably going to do, but that will be discussed later. I don't watch New Japan. I don't watch Ring of Honor. I don't watch Impact. I would watch Impact if it was part of my cable provider, but it's not, so I don't. Friday was one of the biggest moments in wrestling in a long time, possibly since the guy in question left. CM Punk came back to and he debuted in AEW. He did not come back to WWE, which I had kind of expected was going to happen. Like, if he was going to return somewhere, I assumed it wasn't going to be WWE. Like, every interview I'd seen with him, as much as he tried to hold it back sometimes, like, he was not happy there, and especially when he left. And so, it made no sense logically for him to go back there. But anyways, so he debuted to one of the biggest pops I've ever seen in an arena in his home city. And, like, he didn't talk for, 4 minutes. He just soaked it in. It might have even gone a little longer than that. And it was... I rarely get emotional with wrestling, but, I felt this. I was all in. And then when he did talk, he hasn't missed a beat. He was one of the best talkers when he was an active wrestler in WWE, and he still has that ability. And he already teased that he's going to be fighting certain people, and that he wants to be, I think he's going to be full-time. And he's going to wrestle Darby Allin at the next pay-per-view, which is All Out? I might be wrong. But whatever the next one is, he's fighting Darby Allin, and that's going to be crazy. It's going to be the first CM Punk wrestling match since Royal Rumble 2014, I think. I cannot wait. But that, 20 minutes of CM Punk, and I was eating out of his hand, just like almost everyone in that arena was. Loved it. And the thing is, the rest of the show was really good, too. There was a squash match with, I can't remember her name. I feel bad now. Just drawing a blank. Anyways, let's ignore that, and I'll rectify it on a later episode, hopefully. Jurassic Express beat Private Party, because of course they did. And that's part of a 4-team tournament to fight the Young Bucks in a cage match, which I also believe is at All Out. And as much as I want Jurassic Express to... On Rampage, Jurassic Express fought the Young Bucks, and as much as I went into that match going, the Young Bucks aren't going to lose this match, they got me a few times, because they're very good at that. But, I don't know, the Jurassic Express has had so many opportunities at the tag titles, and been in, the top 5 rankings or whatever, and they've yet to win. So, I don't have that much confidence in them. However, on the other side of the brackets, and I'm kind of forgetting who they're fighting, but the Lucha Bros are fighting. They're one of the teams. I really want Lucha Bros versus Young Bucks in a steel cage. I think that would be excellent. The end of the show was Jon Moxley beating the crap out of Daniel Garcia. And then there was post-match shenanigans that involved Eddie Kingston, and then 2.0 were beating down Moxley and Kingston, and then Darby Allin and Sting came out, because of course they did. So more stuff there. But yeah, the Punk stuff blew everything else away. I cannot wait to see Dynamite. So that was Friday. Saturday was SummerSlam. This one was the WWE one. This was both a good and a bad pay-per-view. So, one of my favorite character changes, and I know there's a number of people who agree with me, the character change that's happened with Baron Corbin over the last couple of months, since he lost his crown to Shinsuke Nakamura. Oh, I love it. I love poor begging Corbin. It's great. And then week before last, he stole the Money in the Bank briefcase from Big E, and then so they had a match on the kickoff show of SummerSlam, because that's how much WWE cares about this. And Big E won, and he got his briefcase back. So I wonder what they're gonna do with Corbin now. I was kind of hoping he was gonna hold it and then like try and sell it, because why not? But yeah, so I'm looking forward to seeing what he does now, and I assume that when the draft comes, which I believe is October, that Big E will go to Raw, because I can't see him cashing in that briefcase on Reigns. I don't believe that would happen, and I don't believe Big E is going to be the one to topple Reigns. However, I can see Big E toppling Bobby Lashley as just vengeance for what Bobby Lashley did to both Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston. So I hope that happens. The next match was, I think this was the first actual match of the show. It was RK Bro with Riddle and Orton. They beat AJ Styles and Omos, so they're the new Raw Tag Team Champions. All about it. Very good. Riddle I really liked in NXT, because I thought he was different. But they kind of made him dumb when they moved him to the main roster. But pairing him with Randy Orton, I think, has worked in his favor. And it's also making Orton seem a little bit more interesting. So as long as they let that go a little longer, I was partially worried that they were just going to do a heel turn right here and have one of them turn on the other, and then that's poof. So that's done with. And they're champions now. I wonder if they would have to have a rematch with Styles and Omos, I assume. But if Styles and Omos don't win, what do they do? Does Omos start doing singles matches? I don't know if he's fully ready. I think he works well in a tag environment because he's very green, but you treat him like a monster and he throws people around and it works. But I feel if you put him on his own, it might be, I don't think he's as bad as him, but I think it might be another Great Khali situation where Great Khali was bunk, but he was pushed because he was a big, tall man. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Alexa Bliss beat Eva Marie, to the surprise of no one. The only surprise in that match was that there weren't more spooky shenanigans with Lily the doll. So yeah, she won, and then I liked the Dewdrop, Piper Niven segment afterwards, where she was like, and the loser of the match, Eva Marie, and then took her latex jacket thing and wore it and then strutted around. I thought that was good. I hope that team breaks up sooner than later, that Piper gets her actual name on the main roster, because Dewdrop isn't a very good name. Damien Priest beat Sheamus, which, the right decision. I'm glad to see, actually, I'm saying this and it might not happen, but I'm glad to see Damien Priest finally moving away from the Miz Morrison stuff, But now that I'm thinking it out loud or saying it out loud, maybe they're going to move into like a US title feud with one of them. And I really kind of hope not. I wonder what they're going to do with Sheamus now. I firmly believe Sheamus should be in the main event picture, but I don't know if they're actually going to do it. Who's Intercontinental? Oh, Nakamura's Intercontinental Champion. But yeah, Priest as US Champion. I think it's a good call. The Usos beat the Mysterios. Alright. I keep wanting the Mysterios to break up. One of them to turn on the other one. Waiting. They've teased it for a little while now. Just do it, please. Okay. Here's the first big, what? Match of the show. So Bianca Belair was supposed to fight Sasha Banks. Apparently, news has come out that WWE knew this well over a week ago, that Sasha Banks was not going to be there. But even before the match, they were promoting the match as Sasha Banks versus Bianca Belair. They had a full dramatic video package for it, which WWE is very good at. And then Bianca Belair comes out to the ring, and they announce that Sasha Banks is not cleared to compete. So Carmella comes out to a shower of boos, and so they're about to start that match, and then Becky Lynch comes back to a roaring ovation, and Becky Lynch goes in the ring, beats up Carmella, throws her out of the ring, throws her into the ring steps. I did laugh audibly when Becky Lynch kicked, I think she kneed Carmella, and then threw her between the ropes, and then looked at Bianca Belair and did the 1 sec thing, and then went out of the ring, and then slammed Carmella into the steel steps. And then went back into the ring. I liked that. And then she challenged Bianca Belair for the SmackDown Women's title, which, that's fine. Belair accepted, also fine. Started the match. Becky went to give Belair a handshake. Belair went for the handshake. Lynch tricked her. Did called the man slam. Basically, she did a rock bottom to Bianca Belair, and then pinned her. 1, 2, 3. The match was like 10 seconds. And Becky Lynch just squashed Bianca Belair and is the SmackDown Women's Why? Why did you do this? If you had brought Becky Lynch out and they had a barn burner of a match, like even just 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes, and Lynch had won, perfectly fine. Because Lynch is huge and people love her, and she's a big deal. And she's one of the strongest women in WWE, at least booking-wise. I don't like this. And there's a lot of people saying that, oh, they're going to make Becky Lynch heel. Why? She is so over. I don't get it, and I don't think it's going to work. So, yeah, this is another not so great booking decision as far as I'm concerned. Drew McIntyre beat Jinder Mahal. I know I know Drew McIntyre was Universal Champion for... Oh, wait, no, he was WWE Champion. I'm sorry. He was WWE Champion after beating Lesnar at the COVID WrestleMania in 2020. And then he held it for a really long time. Then he lost it to... Oh, Miz cashed in on him. I think somewhere in the middle in there, Orton beat him, and then he got it back from Orton. But anyways, so Miz took the belt. Lashley beat Miz in a minute. And then McIntyre challenged Lashley like 3 times and lost every time. So McIntyre had his really strong run, and it's... Yeah, okay, he's not WWE champion anymore. But why did you bring Jinder Mahal back with two big lads and have him lose? I'm not the biggest Jinder fan, but it doesn't really make any sense to me. Like, you had Drew fighting his, I don't remember their names, Shanky, Samir and Shanky, I think that's their names. Mahal's little running buddies. They had Drew McIntyre fighting them for weeks and beating the crap out of them every week. And Jinder Mahal staying away from it and being a cowardly heel. And then you go into this match, Jinder doesn't have anybody else come out, like he doesn't find alternate backup, and just loses in pretty decisive okay. I don't get it. So, yeah. Next match was one that wasn't actually shocking, but I feel really bad for one of them. And I guess kind of the other one too. Charlotte Flair beat Nikki, ASH, and Rhea Ripley. I'm a big Rhea Ripley fan. I feel she should have beaten Charlotte at WrestleMania last year. And that booking decision was, in theory, it could have been good if they had let Charlotte win the NXT title, which they did, and then had her go down to NXT and just have these ridiculous matches with all the people on the roster. And she really didn't. She might have defended the title maybe once or twice. And that was kind of it. And it was, okay. And so, I was hoping for Ripley to get her redemption arc. And then Ripley did beat Asuka this year. I think it was also at Mania. And got the women's title. And kept getting into conflicts with Charlotte. And you would think, like, the first time that Ripley beat her, it was, she didn't really beat her. She held the title, though, because she got disqualified. And the next time, you would have thought, you would have been like, okay, either she's going to do it again, or she's going to beat Charlotte clean and get her win back, and then, kind of solidify herself on the main roster. And that didn't happen. She lost. And then she lost again. Oh, I'm getting confused because they did fight a bunch of times. I don't remember if they fought again, and that's when Nikki cashed in her Money in the Bank briefcase, or if it was the first time. But yeah, I don't understand. So they keep booking Ripley to look stupid, and I don't get it. Now, Nikki ASH, you would think on paper, yeah, she can't cleanly beat Charlotte unless it was like a fluke. Now, if it was still Nikki Cross, I would have a different opinion on that. But the Nikki ASH thing doesn't, I know it's catered to kids, but it doesn't do that much for me. And a lot of it is the writing, the way she talks. It's like, ugh. It's very cringy, kind of. But yeah, so now I don't know what she's going to do. Is Ripley going to keep chasing Charlotte? Are Nikki and Rhea going to feud? I don't know. But yeah, so that match happened. Next match was the best match of the night. Even though I probably would have preferred the other person win, it made sense why the person who did win won. Edge versus Seth Rollins. It was excellent. Both of them are so good in the ring. Both of them are really good talkers. Edge came out to the Brood theme with fire, and it was awesome. But yeah, Edge won. Which, it was pretty funny how he won, because he had Rollins in a submission, and Rollins wouldn't tap out, so Edge bounced his head off the mat like 10 times. and then put him back in the submission, and Rollins like, fuck it, I give up. That was really good. But yeah, so that happened. I assume they'll fight again, maybe at Extreme Rules, or maybe they'll lapse it and do it at Survivor Series. I would expect Extreme Rules, put him in like a street fight, but we'll see. This one was good, but a weird one. Bobby Lashley beat Goldberg, which is 100% the right call. I did not want Goldberg. I don't even want Goldberg in the title picture. I'm still pissed off that he beat The Fiend that one time. I miss you, Bray Wyatt. Yeah, so Lashley and Goldberg are going back and forth. There's a turning point where Lashley's starting to get the upper hand. And then MVP hits Goldberg's knee with his pimp cane thing. And Goldberg goes down. And then Lashley starts beating up on the leg. And the ref... Lashley also picks up Goldberg and he runs him knee first into the corner post thing outside the ring. And Goldberg's screaming and blah, blah, blah. And then the ref calls off the match. Like, he's like, you can't compete. Okay, that's how we're ending the WWE title match with Goldberg. One of the most undefeatable wrestlers in wrestling history. Okay. Now, Lashley did get a little heat back by beating him up more afterwards, like chair shots to the knee and all sort of stuff like that. And then Goldberg's kid runs into the ring and jumps Lashley from behind, puts him in a sleeper, or tries to like wrap his arms around his head. And then Lashley flips him and puts him in the hurt lock without, I guess, truly realizing who it is, and then just knocks him out cold. And then MVP's like, "Oh my God, what did you do?" And then gets on the mic and is like, "I'm so sorry, Goldberg. We didn't know it was your son." And then Goldberg's like, "I'm gonna kill you." So Goldberg and Lashley are gonna fight again, probably at Extreme Rules. But yeah, a weird ending. The post match stuff's fine. I'm cool with that. But yeah, I don't know. As long as Lashley doesn't lose the next match, like I don't want Goldberg to be champion. I just don't. So the final match of the night was Roman Reigns defeating John Cena. And it was a really good match. The last time they fought, it was kind of because Roman was still the forced babyface and John Cena had just come back after being away for a while. And while he was back after being away for a while, this time it was a completely different dynamic. I love heel Roman Reigns. I think he's great. So yeah, Reigns beats Cena, and is celebrating and stuff like that. And then Brock Lesnar wanders out, and yeah, I like that he kept his beard and has the ponytail thing. He looks more menacing than he did before. Although I think they're trying to push for babyface Brock Lesnar, which is a little weird. But all right. I mean, Brock Lesnar was over for a little while, even though he's still a heel when he had the Money in the Bank thing because he was ridiculous with it. But yeah, so we're getting Lesnar versus Reigns sooner rather than later, and I really hope it's not in Saudi Arabia. Just do it in like not Extreme Rules. Hold it out a little longer. Do it at Survivor Series. And if there's shenanigans in that match, you can do it again at a later time. But I don't know. Have Reigns beat Lesnar, and then you got to do The Rock at some point, right? I know he's a big Hollywood guy now, but Rock is the final boss in the Roman Reigns timeline as of right now. You would think, because of all the family lineage stuff and the head of the table talk. So that was SummerSlam, and then last night was NXT, and right off the bat, I'm going to tell you right now that I only fully watched 2 matches on this card, and then I watched pieces of the other 3. I didn't see the I think it was on the pre-show, the Holland match. I didn't see that. But yeah, so because I have Peacock with the WWE Network now, you don't have the start from beginning option. So I was making dinner, and by the time I got to NXT, it had already started. So I missed the first 10 or 15 minutes of the Cameron Grimes LA Knight match. So that wasn't intentional because I did want to watch that match. But yeah, so I just came in late to it, and Cameron Grimes won, which should have happened. Ted DiBiase got a little bit more handsy than I thought he was going to, but fine, whatever. Grimes winning was the right decision, although I have been loving the video packages with Cameron Grimes as LA Knight's butler. And I guess if he lost this match, Ted DiBiase also would have had to been LA Knight's butler, and I think those segments would have been hilarious. But it's correct for Grimes to win. I think Grimes is great. And unfortunately, all the news of them completely shifting NXT, I don't know if Grimes is going to stay down there, and I'm afraid of him being on the main roster. Like, I don't know if they'll get him, like, the same. This decision I didn't agree with, but, I mean, she's the big girl, so fine, whatever. Raquel Gonzalez beat Dakota Kai. I've wanted Dakota Kai to be champion since she made several attempts to beat Shayna Baszler all that time ago. And like when she turned heel, I was like, this is it. Dakota Kai's finally going to win the NXT Women's title. She still hasn't done it. I don't know why. She's great. She is an absolute delight. She's a great wrestler. She's great on the mic. She's got a great look. Give Dakota Kai the title. And she should have won this match. It was really, despite the fact that I wish she had won, the match itself was really good. So, all right, fair enough. I got a good match out of it. That was one of the two matches I watched all the way through. The second match is this one, which was Ilia Draganov versus Walter. I didn't know who Walter was before seeing him on. It was one of the American takeovers. I think it was against Pete Dunne. No. I'm sorry. It was when he won. It might have been Tyler Bate. Whatever came first, when he fought Tyler Bate in that long match, or when he fought Pete Dunne for the UK title. And both of those two matches are excellent. I'm drawing a blank on which one was first. So I didn't know who he was on the indies, so I had no association. I just remember seeing him pop up, and I was like, who's that big fucker? And his matches are great. Like, he's just a brick wall. But he can move kind of, too. And he's a bit more of a submission guy than you would think. So, yeah, this match was exactly what I expect. Walter trying to just keep pushing Ilia down. Just keep pounding him down. Ilia will not stay down. Like, he keeps getting back up. He keeps punching Walter in the back of the head. It's just, it's no, like, the only slow spots in the match are, like, holds. But even those, you're you're invested. It's not like a Randy Orton sleeper hold where it goes on for 90 seconds and you're like, can we move the match along? No, this is like, I was invested the whole time. And like, it kept the pace the whole time. It was really good. And Ilia won. He beat Walter. Walter was 870 days as UK champion. It's done. Ilia's, so now I wonder if Walter submitted, which shocked me. It was so good. But yeah, I wonder if Walter's gonna declare a rematch, or if he's going to either go to regular NXT, or if he's going to go to the main roster. I look forward to whatever he does, because Walter's great. I'm still a little worried because of that time he was on the Survivor Series NXT team and he got knocked out by Drew McIntyre in like 40 seconds. Oof, that was a bad decision. But yeah, Great match. Now to the... I didn't care about this match. Mostly, okay, so it was a 3 stages of hell match, even if it wasn't called that. It was Kyle O'Reilly versus Adam Cole. And all the rumors are pointing to Adam Cole leaving, because I think his contract is up. Might even be up today. And going to AEW, where his girlfriend, or maybe they're married, Britt Baker is, and where all of his former like running buddy friends are, like the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega and stuff like that. And I haven't been all on board with the Kyle O'Reilly babyface. Like, I really liked him in Undisputed Era. I thought he was hilarious. I thought he was one of the best sellers in the business. And yeah, I've been caring less and less. So when he got to this, I was like, okay, so it's basically best 2 out of 3, and so there's 3 different matches. So I skipped to the cage match. I was like, okay, the first match is a singles match. Somebody will win that. The second match is a street fight. The other guy will win that, and then it'll go to the cage. Like, there's no way that it was going to go any other way. And that's how it went. So I started with the cage match. And yeah, it was fine. But altogether it was really long, which you expect from an Adam Cole match. As much as I like Adam Cole, like, it's his matches with like Gargano and stuff. I was like, just finish the match. So yeah, it's just not my thing if I'm not fully invested in a feud. And I'd been kind of tired of this one for a little while now. Like, it started off great, but like, you can only do it so many times before I stop caring. But yeah, so O'Reilly won, as you would expect. Cole lost. Cole got helped out of the arena. And now we'll wait this week to see what happens. Maybe he'll show up on NXT. Maybe he'll show up on Monday Night Raw or SmackDown. Maybe he'll show up on AEW Dynamite. So we're going to see. The final match of the night was another one that I had cooled on, but I did watch some of it. Samoa Joe versus Karrion Kross. Karrion Kross they've been moving him up to the main roster, and it is not going well. Also, Scarlett's not there, and Scarlett hasn't been on NXT. I don't know what's going on with that. It fucks with his character. It's weird. I don't like it. So yeah, so as you would expect, because Karrion Kross has been on the main roster now, they're going to keep him on the main roster, so he had to drop the NXT title. So Samoa Joe won. I'm glad to see Samoa Joe back in a ring, but I didn't care at this point. Like, I knew what was going to happen. And it happened. Joe beat him with a muscle buster. Good. And yeah, so that's NXT. That's the weekend of wrestling. So yeah, I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to do this again. Like, it probably is kind of pointless to do it every week, but maybe if I have something interesting that I really want to talk about, like the Punk stuff, I'll do this again. But I wouldn't expect it on a regular basis. But yeah, so if you watch this, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Boom.